Yeah. Leon Russell went yesterday. Yeah. I mean, the further you go down the pike, you know.
Keith Richards is an English musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer. He's best known as the co-founder, guitarist, secondary vocalist, and one of the songwriters for the Rolling Stones. In 1989, Richards was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2004 into the UK Music Hall of Fame with the Rolling Stones. Rolling Stone magazine ranked him 4th on its list of the 100 best guitarists in 2011. The magazine lists 14 songs that Richards wrote with the Rolling Stones lead vocalist Mick Jagger on its 500 greatest songs of all time list.
It gives you a sense of proportion, I suppose. And I told you I'd outlive you.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Keith Richards, but he's also known as Keith and the Human Riff. He was born December 18, 1943 in Dartford, Kent, England, making him 78 at the time of this production. He stands at 1.74 meters or 5 feet 8 inches tall. His favorite hobby is dog walking, and he enjoys taking the family pet out for some exercise. The star sign of Keith is Sagittarius, and he weighs approximately 63 kilograms or 139 pounds. Richards is a keen fan of shepherd's pie, a British traditional dish. Stuart Cable, the ex-drummer of Stereophonics, recollected that he was once confronted by Richards because he had served himself a piece of the shepherd's pie meant for Richards. The dish was also mentioned by Richards in his autobiography, advising readers to add more onions after cooking the meat filling to enhance the pie's flavor. Richards has a certain reputation for illicit drug use, stemming back in part to a series of drug busts during the late 60s and 70s, as well as his own open expression of his use of heroin, among other substances. He's been tried on drug-related charges 5 times, once in 1967, twice in 1973, once in 1977, and once in 1978. Richards is an avid reader with a strong interest in history and owns an extensive library. In 2016, he stated that he still occasionally drinks alcohol and consumes cannabis. He takes about 60 guitars on each concert tour, including his favorite Fender and Gibson guitars. Richards has a collection of approximately 3,000 guitars. Johnny Depp has said that the character of Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl is mostly based on Keith Richards, including his voice, his mannerisms, his personality, and aspects of his appearance. In the 1970s, he was once awake for 9 days straight with the assistance of various drugs. When he finally fell asleep while standing up, he fell face down into an amplifier, breaking his nose. He's worn a skull ring on the third finger of his right hand since the early 1970s, reminding himself that we're all the same beneath the surface. He allegedly declined the CBE, Commander of the Order of the British Empire, for his services to music. He was a close friend of country legend Graham Parsons, and he's referenced his early death due to drug abuse in one of his songs he's written for the Stones. From 1967 to 1979, Richards was romantically involved with Italian-born actress Anita Pallenberg. The couple has a son born in 1969 and a daughter born in 1972. Their third son passed away just over 2 months after his birth of sudden infant death syndrome on June 6, 1976. Richards and his wife Patty Hansen met in 1979 and married on December 18, 1983. Together, the couple has 2 daughters born in 1985 and 1986. He has 5 grandchildren, 3 from his son Marlon and 2 from his daughter Angela.
Mortality, yeah, it does actually, to tell the truth, yeah, it does. I mean, when friends drop by the wayside, you know.
He's the only child of parents Doris Maud Lydia Dupree and Herbert William Richards. His maternal grandfather, Augustus Theodore Gus Dupree, was also a musician. He toured Britain with his jazz big band, Gus Dupree and His Boys, and it was him that nurtured Richards' interest in music, the guitar in particular. Dupree was the one who gave Richards his first guitar. Richards was childhood friends with Mick Jagger as the pair attended Wentworth Primary School together. They were even neighbors until the Richards family moved in 1954. Eventually, several years later, the pair reunited when Richards ran into Jagger on a train as Jagger headed to classes at the London School of Economics. Jagger was carrying albums from Chess Records by Chuck Berry and Muddy Waters, and the pair rekindled their friendship over their shared musical interests. They also shared a mutual friend, Dick Taylor. Richards had met Taylor while at Sidcup Art College, and Jagger knew Taylor from the amateur band they were in, Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys, which Richards joined soon thereafter. The Blue Boys ended after Brian Jones invited Jagger and Richards to the Bricklayers Arms pub, where they met Ian Stewart and bonded over their shared interest in blues music. Brian Jones, Mick Jagger, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts, Ian Stewart, and Keith Richards joined the first lineup of the band that became known as the Rolling Stones. They signed to Decca Records in 1963. Since Jones' departure from the band in 1969, Jagger and Richards have shared the primary songwriting and production duties for the band, for which they're credited as the Glimmer Twins. Richards has also been called the band leader of the Stones by former member Ian Stewart. Unlike in other bands where the drummer sets the pace, Richards and his guitar fill that role instead. The Rolling Stones have released over 100 albums over their long career, including 30 studio albums, and performed more than 2,000 concerts globally. Outside of the Rolling Stones, Richards has pursued several solo projects. His first solo single, a cover of Chuck Berry's Run, Rudolph, Run, was released in 1978. After Jagger pursued a solo career in 1987, Richards formed the group Expensive Winos with co-writer and co-producer Steve Jordan. In addition to music, Richards had a brief foray into the world of acting. He played the role of Captain Edward Teague in At World's End in 2007.
Famous phrase, but I think we're looking, it seems, I hear whispers around the block, that we're next year.
His primary source of income is music. He earns money through songwriting, album sales, and tours. The Rolling Stones have sold more than 200 million records worldwide. The band still tours consistently to this day, nearly every year. For example, in 2018, the band earned $117 million off just 14 shows. Keith and bandmate Mick Jagger have written nearly all the band's original music. Keith Richards has a net worth of $500 million. He owns multiple properties, including Redlands, a Sussex estate he bought in 1966 for £313,000. Actress Cate Blanchett purchased a nearby property in the East Sussex area for $4.68 million. Richards owns a home in Weston, Connecticut, which is his primary residence, and a property on the private resort island Parrot Cay in the Turks and Caicos Islands. He purchased the Connecticut house in 1985, and the 8,000 square foot mansion is set on 8 acres with river and lake views. He owns the following cars: a Bentley S3 Continental Flying Spur, a 1950 Pontiac Chieftain Silver Streak convertible, a 1972 Ferrari Dino 246 GT, a 1983 Ferrari 400i, a 1947 Mercedes-Benz convertible,